Welcome to Hollywood Graveyard, where we set out to remember and celebrate the lives of those who lived to entertain us by visiting their final resting places. Today we continue our tour of Forest Lawn Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills, where we'll find such stars as Buster Keaton, Stan Laurel, Paul Walker, and many more. Join us, won't you? Continuing our tour of Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills Memorial Park, we find ourselves in the southernmost part of the cemetery, in the areas known as the Courts of Liberty and Lincoln Terrace. Similar to the Courts of Remembrance, which we visited in Part 1, this area consists of several terraced courtyards and garden areas. However, no crypts or niches, only graves. The motif of this section of cemetery is principally patriotic, with statues of prominent American figures like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. But the most impressive feature is a spectacular mosaic featuring vignettes from American history. Even if you don't come to visit any stars, this mural is worth the trip. The Liberty Courts is a straight shot south from the entrance of the cemetery. We'll actually start right across the street at the Old North Church. Just southwest of the church, we find the grave of actor Tom Bosley, who played Howard Cunningham on the popular TV series Happy Days. He also portrayed Mayor LaGuardia in the Broadway musical Fiorello, for which he won a Tony Award. Up the hill and slightly to the west, we find the grave of fitness guru Jack LaLanne, known as the Godfather of Fitness. Jack was among the first to publicly preach the benefits of regular exercise and a good diet, writing that physical culture and nutrition is the salvation of America. And I'm sure Jack would agree that walking through a cemetery is pretty good exercise, so let's keep it up. Heading south across the street toward the Courts of Liberty, we approach the outer wall. Here we find the grave of actor John Hall, who starred in several action-adventure films in the 30s and 40s, including Arabian Nights and Invisible Agent. Moving east along this outer wall, we come to the grave of the Great Stoneface, legendary actor-director Buster Keaton. It's hard to sum up in a few words the magnitude of the effect Buster Keaton's work had on early Hollywood. His influence is still seen in films some 100 years later. Alongside Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton is considered the greatest comic filmmaker of the silent era. A master of physical comedy, Buster stood out among the rest with his visual gags and practical stunts, all of which he actually performed. His notable films include Sherlock Jr. and the 1926 film The General, which Orson Welles once said was cinema's highest achievement in comedy and perhaps the greatest film ever made. He slowly fell away from Hollywood when studio heads wouldn't grant him the creative freedom he had enjoyed during the silent years. He was given an honorary Academy Award in 1959 for his unique talents, which brought immortal comedies to the screen. Continuing east along this outer wall, past the stairs, we find the grave of British funny man Marty Feldman. His most iconic role was in Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein as the good doctor's lab assistant, Igor.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
His distinctive bulbous eyes were a result of a botched operation for his Graves' disease. He died in 1982 while filming the movie Yellowbeard. Backing up the stairs into the courtyard area, in the first garden east of the Washington Monument, we find the grave of game show host Bert Convy. Among the popular shows he hosted are Win, Lose, or Draw and Super Password. Back again toward the central courtyard, we head up the stairs into the next terrace level where, on a small wall to the right, we find the grave of Stan Laurel, one half of legendary comedy duo Laurel and Hardy. Stan Laurel was the lean, childlike character to Oliver Hardy's pompous, rotund character. They starred in 107 films together, including shorts and features, both silent and talkie. Now let's sit back and relax with Stan as he smokes his pipe. His partner Oliver Hardy is buried 2 miles from here at Valhalla Cemetery. Continuing west through the doorway to the next garden area, we find comedic actor John Ritter, who starred as Jack on 8 seasons of Three's Company. The role earned him both an Emmy and a Golden Globe. He died of aortic dissection shortly after finishing work on an episode of 8 Simple Rules. Passing into the next garden area west, just as we enter, on the left, is the unmarked grave of comedian and TV personality Steve Allen. He was the first to host The Tonight Show in 1954 and was instrumental in developing the concept of the talk show.
In case you're just joining us, this is Tonight. And I can't think of too much to tell you about it, except I want to give you the bad news first. This program is going to go on forever.
He wasn't kidding. The Tonight Show runs to this day on NBC with Jimmy Fallon as host. Subsequently, Allen hosted several variety and game shows and was a regular panelist on the popular game show What's My Line? In this same garden area along the far west wall is the grave of Toto bassist Mike Porcaro. His brothers Steve and Jeff were also in the band, whose hits include Rosanna and Africa. Heading back the way we came, we follow this sidewalk all the way to the other side, to the easternmost garden.
It's a nice day for a stroll. I hope you brought your sunscreen, though.
Who loves you, baby? Telly Savalas loves you. Here we find the actor best remembered for his role in the TV show Kojak. He was also nominated for an Academy Award for his supporting role in Birdman of Alcatraz. Crossing the sidewalk just to the south, we find the grave of magicians Penn and Teller. May they rest in peace. That bullet-catching trick finally caught up to them. No, not really. This is a cenotaph, meaning no one is actually buried here. This marker was placed by them as the payoff of a magic trick on an episode of their show, Penn and Teller Bullshit.
Grieve in the way that makes you happy. Sounds whacked, but it isn't. The funeral isn't for the dead, it's for the living. We thought it'd be nice we die for y'all to get some fun out of it, so we bought a grave plot at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills, and we set up a grave marker. Takes some serious scamming to get a grave when you're not dead, but you're not playing with kids here. We're Penn and Teller. We did all the hard work, and here's how you use it. Take a friend, a pen, an envelope, any pack of cards, and a camera to Hollywood.
For more, check out the episode titled Death Inc. Rounding the corner to the garden area just south of this one, we find the grave of actor Paul Walker, who is best remembered for his role as Brian O'Connor in 7 Fast and Furious films. The franchise has earned nearly $4 billion as of 2016, making it one of the most profitable movie franchises in history. In a tragically ironic twist of fate, Paul died when the Porsche he was riding in lost control and crashed in an industrial area of Santa Clarita. The accident occurred while Furious 7 was still in production, and filmmakers had to use his brothers and CGI to finish his scenes. Heading back west, toward the central garden area, just west of the main walkway, is the grave of a man named Bob Kane. If you don't know who Bob Kane is, there's a pretty big hint right here on his grave marker. That's right, Bob Kane created Batman. Enough said. We'll continue our tour by heading now to the Lincoln Terrace, which is just west of the large mural, right across the street. In the second garden area on the right, near the center of the lawn, is the grave of David Carradine, an actor and martial arts specialist who is remembered for his roles in the TV series Kung Fu, as well as Bill in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill series. Heading into the next garden area to the west, we find, along the western sidewalk, the grave of comedian Dick Van Patten, who played Tom Bradford on TV's 8 is Enough. Fans of Mel Brooks films will also recognize him as King Roland in Spaceballs and the Abbot on Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Good morrow.
Welcome, Abbott.
Good morrow.
Hello, Abbott.
Good morrow.
Hey, Abbott!
I hate that guy.
Right across the sidewalk is the grave of Garry Marshall, the man behind several TV and film hits. He created Happy Days and its various spin-offs, as well as the original Odd Couple. He also directed the films Pretty Woman and The Princess Diaries. Up the stairs, just north of the Lincoln statue, is the grave of Jeff Porcaro, who was the drummer for the band Toto, and the brother of Mike Porcaro, who we visited earlier. Jeff was also one of the most sought-after studio drummers from the 70s to the 90s. an all-music article stating that, quote, "It is no exaggeration to say that the sound of mainstream pop rock drumming in the 1980s was, to the large extent, the sound of Jeff Porcaro." In the south lawn of this terrace, just near a small tree, is the grave of actor William Conrad, who played Frank Cannon in the 70s TV series Cannon, a role which earned him 2 Emmy and 2 Golden Globe nominations. Finally, we head east on this same lawn and find the grave of multi-talented actor and musician Scatman Crothers. Scatman started out as a jazz musician playing clubs across the country before making his way to Hollywood. His big break came in 1970 when he landed the role as Scat Cat in Disney's Aristocats. In the years that followed, he starred in other Hollywood classics like The Shining and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that concludes our tour. What are some of your favorite memories of the stars we visited today? Share them in the comments below, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more famous grave tours. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, have any of you seen Alfred Hitchcock's movie, The Birds? Yeah, well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.